almost you bring us up to speed with this. Well, we didn't see Nico Raskin part of training today. Is he okay for the game tomorrow?
No, Nico's out until after the international break with a calf problem. Took a kick in the game, and afterwards the kick is given him a problem in his muscle. So him, Todd, and Danilo are the three that miss him.
How much does that disrupt your planning for this game? Does it cause you to rethink how you might approach it?
No, because the reason Cifuentes never played at the weekend was he didn't arrive back until the Friday morning from South America and played at altitude, so he's ready to go. Ryan Jack's there as well, so it doesn't change in terms of us having options in midfield. Obviously, Nico's been playing and was probably one of our stronger performers at the weekend, so in that sense, we're losing a good player, but we've got a good one coming in.
You mentioned Danilo, he posted on social media he's had the surgery on his cheek. How is he, and when do you expect to see him back?
I see him yesterday. He still looks sore, if I'm honest. He's obviously had successful surgery on the areas. It's not just one area, the areas impacted. I think he'll be back in non-contact training around the back end of the international window, so ideally he would be back the first week after the October internationals, but it might be a couple of weeks after that. We'll just have to see. He's got another consultancy appointment in 2 weeks.
Can I ask you about expectation for the Europa League? What is it for Rangers fans to expect from your team in this competition? We have a lot of mumbo about what teams can do in the Champions League, but in the Europa League.
One game at a time. We need to get out of the group, get to knockout phases, and then we'll see as we go. As I say, one game at a time. It's a good group that we're in. Two teams who won their championship last year. Obviously, Real Betis was 6th in La Liga and they won their group last year with Roma unbeaten. Obviously, Roma went to the final, so they showed their pedigree in the competition. I think they've recruited well in the summer. So, listen, it's a competitive group, but we're expecting to get out of it.
Similar type of question, that expectation, you would see Rangers as being more than capable of getting out of this group?
I think we should be looking to get out of this group.
In terms of how you approach Europe and the importance that Europe has for you this season in particular, how would you assess that?
Not the same as always. There's a financial element, but there's a competition element as well, and you're playing against teams with different styles that are obviously successful in their domestic league, and I think that challenge helps you domestically because obviously the level is high and your team have to get exposed to things, and hopefully it raises the level of your team and players. As a club, we have a huge tradition in Europe and the European nights, and it's important that we have a good season this year in Europe.
In terms of playing a team that's, again, from Seville, that brings back really nice memories in terms of that amazing run to get there. Is that where the bar is set still for Rangers, that in this competition the final is a possibility?
Well, listen, let's get out of the group first.
Michael Pellegrini, a manager with good pedigree, looking forward to testing yourself against him?
Yeah, for sure. Listen, he's a lot older than myself, he's a lot more experienced, he's worked at some of the biggest clubs in the world, he's at a very big club now, and they're a good team. As I say, last year they went away to Roma and won, they drew at home, they won that group unbeaten, so the year before they were knocked out of the Europa League by the eventual winners as well, so they're a good side and we'll have to be at our best. In the 2 home games so far, we've scored 4 goals against Servette and PSV that we've played in Europe this season. In both games we felt we could have scored more. So it's important that we take the game to Betis as much as we can and try and create them problems.
At the weekend, albeit a very good Barcelona side, is there anything you can take from that game?
There's a lot of changes in their team, so I don't know why that was in terms of injuries or just rotation after the international break. So there's not too much. I take a lot more from the game against Villarreal and the game against Atletico Madrid in the weeks previous, where they put in strong performances.
It's been a tough start to the season for a lot of Scottish clubs in Europe this season. How much additional pressure do you think there is on Rangers to deliver some European success when you think, as you said, you are expected to get the group when other teams might not be in that same position?
Well, we're not doing it for Scotland, we're doing it for Rangers. It's important we do it for our clubs. I follow the other clubs keenly in Europe. I want them to do well, but my focus is Rangers. So I think what you see at times is the speed of the game is a little bit faster. The refs let the game roll a little bit more in terms of the ball. There's less set plays, if you like, the ball in plays a little bit more, and the clubs that can spend have obviously got supreme athletes, and at times it's a different game to the domestic game physically. So this part of the season now, with the group games coming in, you need your squad, you need to prepare well against difficult opponents, different styles, and you need to recover well to go back into the domestic games at the weekend. There's no room to, there's very small room to manoeuvre in terms of we want to win every game.
Michael, with the injury to Danilo, is there a possibility that he could wear a mask at one point, or do you have to wait for it to fully heal? Do you have any indication of that?
I think once he's back, he will have to wear a mask, but before that, it has to be safe for him to even get to that stage. So there'll be a period of time, maybe 3 or 4 weeks, where he trains unopposed. But I think these things are, you'll see his consultant in 2 weeks' time. We managed to have the surgery on the Monday, so the speed in terms of the turnaround was really good, and that will obviously probably save us some time at the back end of his rehab. And I have to say, he's been in great spirits. The technique on the header was almost a perfect technique. If you look how he's got there and really gone through with it, he didn't let it hit his head, so he actually went towards the contact. It was a horrible, sickening moment, and I'm thankful that the St Johnstone player only come out of it with concussion as well.
It must be, it's just straight for Danilo especially, because you're looking for one of your strikers to ignite, and that looked like it was going to be his moment.
Yeah, listen, the good side of it is that we obviously have Kamar fit at the moment, which is the first time in a long time, and he's played his first 90 minutes, I think, since August or April 2022. We have Cyril, we have Seema who came on there, and we have Sam Lammers, so in that sense we do have numbers, and in this moment I'll be looking for those guys to show their quality in the team for sure.
What did that result of the weekend do for the group of players? Have you seen that reaction in the training this week?
Yeah, the training's always been upbeat. Listen, when you lose a couple of games, certainly here at Rangers, it's not something that happens a lot, that you lose back to back, and they were 2 big games. So the international break in between wasn't ideal, so there was a lot of time to stew on it, and obviously 7 or 8 players was away. So at the weekend we decided to go with the majority of the players that were here and had a chance to work, and I thought it was very similar to the Ross County game. It was a comfortable 2-0, we didn't give up any chances on our goal, and if you wanted to be critical at times in the final third, we could have been a bit more ruthless and scored more. I think we had the chances for sure.
We're into that hectic period of midweek weekend games. How important will your whole squad be going into this run of fixtures?
Yeah, definitely. So, the injuries to the 3 that we mentioned, Danilo, Todd Campbell and Nico Raskin, they're 3 important players, so it's not ideal. A bit of good news around Kieran Dowes. We're hoping to be back after the Livingston game into the game with Aberdeen, so we get another number back there, but we still have 20 senior players today, and we've obviously got 1 or 2 of the academy players we've got eyes on. We've got a real bright future in Zach Lovelace, Bailey Rice for example, so this might be an opportunity for them in the domestic games to step up as well.
With regards to Claude, Michael, see another one that's close, after the time scale.
Yeah, I would say that he's post-international break. I think it would be touch and go to make it for the last game, but I would say that's unlikely as I'm sat here today. He's much more likely to make the Hibs game after the international break.
Michael, this gives Cifuentes the chance maybe to get in with a few games under his belt if Nico is going to go for that amount of time. And how do you feel Cifuentes has done so far?
Well, I think he came in very late. I thought in his first couple of games he did some really good things. He fantastic cross against Servette, which should have been an assist. He had one also against Livingston where the defenders made a fantastic block from Cyril Dessert. So he's been unfortunate in that. And then he's been away on international duty, so this is his moment. He's been here for a while now. I said it recently that the new players have been here long enough now. He was the last one to come in, but I still think he's ready to go.
In terms of the confidence and development of this group, what would it do to almost like a statement victory against a league opposition?
And I think it will be a big boost to everyone, the squad certainly, the staff and the fans. And I think what's most important is that we go and take the game and we play with energy and we play with quality, and we're playing against a very good team. If you look at their front 4, I think they're very, very dangerous and good players in midfield, international players in midfield. So it'll be a good game. It's a great game for us to challenge ourselves, but it's a big opportunity to get this group up and running. After this, we have 2 away games, and away games in Europe are difficult. So looking at the level of this group, I think this is going to go to the 5th and 6th game for everybody until it gets until it gets concluded who's where. It's important that we as the games go by, that we build up enough points to make sure that we're qualifying for the last stages of this competition.
On Jose, coming to playing Scotland, playing in Europe, has he got to adjust to perhaps a different speed of the game, perhaps MLS play at a different tempo? Is that going to be something that he's going to have to get used to as he settles in?
Maybe. He obviously he played against Argentina last week with his national team, so he's experienced. He's played in a World Cup, so he's an experienced player. I think the domestic games are a little bit more different than the European games for him. So let's see. I think he's clearly a talented player, and the more he plays for us, I'm sure everybody will be more aware of that. But he's a player that we brought in with high hopes for, so this gives him an opportunity to have a run in the team now.
Much are you looking forward to these big European nights, especially in this competition? There were some incredible nights at Ireland. Are you hoping for the same kind of thing, which can maybe get that energy and momentum that you're alluding to?
Yeah, well listen, the core of this team, the ones that have been around for the last 3 or 4 years, have really re-established the club in Europe from a few years of not being in the competition. There's been some big nights home and away, and I think this year we're going to have to show that again, make up a little bit for last year, even for the qualifying, the performance away at PSV that hurt us, and it's important that across these 6 group games we show a different face and we get enough points to get out of the group, and then as we say, we'll take each game as it comes. We're not looking past, as I say, 2 champions in this group and a team that was 6th in the Liga that won their group last year, so we know it's a competitive group, but we're looking forward to it for sure.
What kind of reaction do you expect for the Ibrox crowd? Michael, lost the first game there since the Celtic defeat.
I think they'll be behind the team. They show it every week. They support us. I thought the fans were excellent at St Johnstone at the weekend. They cheered the team off. They clapped them off. So I think they want to see their team go after Real Betis, and we'll do that as best as we can. They're a good side. The players like Isco in there and the Jose Perez. We have to be careful with some of their attacking players. But the most important thing tomorrow is that we come off that pitch and we're talking about Rangers players. That's the aim for everybody. As I say, it's a real high quality game. We're looking forward to it. We have been since the draw came out.
Thank you guys.